The effect of each of these bills would be to enter Connecticut into the agreement among the states to elect the president by national popular vote, becoming the 12th state to become a member of that coalition. We reject the notion that the citizens of America in the year 2017 cannot be trusted to directly elect their president. The states joining the compact will commit that once states with 270 or more electoral votes have joined the compact, all of those states would commit to give their electoral votes to the national popular vote winner, regardless of what the votes were in those individual states. So the time has come to recognize that our system is an anachronism, and it is time for direct popular vote to determine the presidency.
That when somebody's vote is cast, that they have confidence that their vote will count. And I'm not sure after the election this year, where over 3 million votes were cast for a particular candidate, and that person was not elected, duly elected as the President of the United States, that people have confidence that when they cast their vote, that it is counted. And the national popular vote does exactly that. It tallies up the votes, and we would then be able to cast our electoral ballot votes based on the national popular vote and based on those votes in the compact. We want to make sure that just as we are as state legislators, when people cast their votes for us on election day and majority wins, that the same is held for the President of the United States. And we've seen over the last 33 days, 34 days, where we have really someone who is taking us in a direction that the majority of Americans do not agree with. And so therefore we have to make sure that we bring back the confidence for the people across this country, and especially in the state of Connecticut, that when they cast their vote, that they feel like it's counted. And that they have confidence when they go to the polls on election day that their votes will matter. And it's not just, oh, Connecticut is a blue state, so therefore it's going to be Democratic, but that the votes in Connecticut matter just as much as they matter across the entire nation.
We've been talking about this for a long time. I've been signed on to bills in the past that would do the very same thing. So this is an issue that has been important to many of the people in our state for quite a long time, and perhaps this election has raised the tenor of this issue, but it's been an important issue. And it's been an important issue for a lot of people, not just in this state, but in our country. You know, our electoral college was designed, some people say, to give small states power that they didn't have. It was designed in some ways to give power to small states that own slaves. It's the reason why we had presidents that came from Virginia for a very long time. So for a person like me, this has been an issue that is particularly important because it has something to do with a part of our history that we, I think, have done a lot to move away from. And I think what Connecticut is looking to do kind of closes that loop. So let's not think of this as just a response to the election that we have, but dealing with some parts of our history that are particularly important.
It's critical that Connecticut take a national lead in moving forward with the national popular vote. We need to move past an electoral college structure that's a product of a bygone era, an era that was really about voter suppression. And as was just pointed out so eloquently, the system was designed for states to reinvent it as it goes along and make sure that our electoral system works so that everyone's voice is heard. It's not right that a voter in Florida has 1/4 of the impact of a voter in Wyoming. It's not right that states like Connecticut don't get any attention in the national conversation during a presidential campaign. It is simply unfair that in the last 16 years we have twice elected a president that didn't receive the most votes of Americans. It's time for Connecticut to move forward and join this national movement for the national popular vote and ensure that every voter's voice gets heard in a presidential election.
I speak for many voters in Connecticut who believe that in a democracy, every vote should matter equally, and the nation's leader should be the candidate who wins the most votes. And neither was true in the last election. And it turns out I'm not alone in believing that the current winner-take-all system of awarding electoral votes isn't worthy of our democracy. Over the past several months, I've seen firsthand that there are a lot of other citizens in Connecticut that feel just the way I do.
Part of what I've always loved about the National Popular Vote Interstate Compact is that it's a state-based solution for a national problem. The Constitution gave our state legislators the ability to create the winner-take-all system, and the Constitution gives our state legislators the power to take it away, to fix it. And I am so happy to be standing here with you, encouraging all of our state legislators to do the right thing and make sure that all of our votes are counted equally in a presidential election.